Hey everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the ultimate techno synth in Serum. It's a really great synth for techno that a lot of people don't realize. And today I'm going to be showing you some patches. I'm going to be making some patches from scratch and showing you everything you need to use this to make techno patches. Now, to go along this video, I've got my packed definitive techno Serum presets. The link is right at the top of the description. You can see it's this huge pack of Serum presets for techno. A ton of basses, a ton of leads, a ton of pads and plucks. Just everything you need to make a really great track. You heard some of them in the intro. You can hear some of them here. It's really great stuff. Definitely go grab this. Link is right at the top of the description. Don't miss out, guys. It's a really great pack while it's available, and you will be able to make some of your best techno tracks ever with this. You know, this will really allow you to just have a solid foundation to build on and focus more on making melodies and actual tracks. Link is at the top of the description. It's also a great source of inspiration. Thank you so much for the support, guys. It's about creating stuff for you so you can make the best tracks of your life, and we can all win. Thanks for the support, and let's dive in. Alright, so I want to talk to you guys about making the synths in Serum because there's a lot of great stuff. Let's start with the lead. You heard this lead in a little bit of the intro. So what's happening here is it's essentially a saw wave lead, but then we're using some of the things about Serum that make it so cool to really bring that like basic classic saw wave lead to another level, right? So for one, you'll notice this is not just like any old saw waves. Like you can see in here, okay, first of all, we have this pulse width wave over here in the sub, but we're using this dirty saw, and we're also using this Debussy, which is like, you know, obviously these sound like saw waves, but there's stuff that's been done to them that kind of makes it something different. And you can also see it's about how they stack up. Like these two stack up really well together. And then with that sub oscillator, plus we have a bit of FM from A as well. If you look at this, we have an envelope doing that. So let's say if I turn that off for a second. See how it's a lot more simple and flat? And you add that little bit of FM with an envelope on it so it's punchier. And then all of a sudden you get this really exciting, fresh saw lead. And the key is just not too much. Like as soon as you start turning this up, you can get some cool sounds, but it does kind of become crazy. So then the other thing here, so then those oscillators are going into this filter. And what we're doing is we're using the LFO on Serum as essentially like an envelope that you can just draw however you want it to be. Because if you set this to this envelope mode here, it makes it so that it'll just play one time when you hit the note. You won't get this whole like, you know, don't like constant LFO. You can just use that as an envelope, and then it allows you to shape it really nicely. So you can go in here and you can really get this like little tiny bit of attack and really dial it in. So you hear how it goes from kind of like aggressive and a bit too like just smacking to this where it's like won't like it kind of you hear the filter opening, but it's not like a long opening. Like it's not like, it's like just enough. That's something that I've learned from a lot of these techno leads, is that little detail of just having the envelope open up the filter really quick at the start, but not like too long. I think that's really important. We're also key tracking the filter, and then we go to the effects. And this is the other reason why Serum is like really great for these synths, is that you can do so much with the effects. Like if I turn all of these off, and then I'll just go one by one. So here's what it sounds like without any. A little bit of chorus. A little bit of flanger, but the rate's all the way down, so you're kind of just using that as like a filter. Distortion kind of pushes it. Delay. And then a bit of reverb. And yeah, you know, this formula of like taking the saw waves and the pulse waves and doing different combinations of them, the little bit of FM, the filter with kind of like a nice opening cutoff envelope, those little details, you can do a lot with that. But now I want to talk about making basses. So here we have this pretty simple Reese, you know, it's just 2 saw waves, right, with a triangle wave in the sub, but it's the tiny details that matter. So if you look at this, if I turn off the processing and I turn off these, see how one of these is just like a steady saw? And then one is super unison out. And either one of those on their own, even with the filter, is like not really it, because the super unison one is obviously fat, but it's too wide and it doesn't really have the definition. But then the no unison one has the definition for sure, but it's not really that fat. But it'll give you that solid like baseline saw wave. So when you put them together, that's really the secret to making the perfect Reese, and that is why Serum is perfect for that, is because you can so easily do that. I don't even think you can do that in Massive. I'm pretty sure in Massive it was like the unison was just for the whole synth, and Wavetable and Ableton didn't do that, by the way, either. So yeah, this is like very easy to do this in Serum, and I think that's the key to really making like a proper fat Reese bass for techno. And there's a little bit of sub oscillator, filter, plus, I mean, the best part about the filter in Serum is the fat knob and the drive knob. And there you go. So that would be... So now I want to make a lead from scratch and just show you the process of how I would go about making this in Serum. So let's make a little melody with the F minor scale, because that's what we're in. Alright, that's a cool melody. We'll just duplicate that over, kind of use it like that. Great. So we're going to start with this blank Serum here. I'm going to go ahead. Usually I like to just go in the analog wavetables here. I mean, luckily with Serum, you got all these cool analog wavetables. Like, let's use the pulse width modulated Juno. Okay, so we'll start with that. Let's bring in another oscillator, which will be, let's use like the acid. And let's start modulating this. Like we could get, let's do an LFO on that. And let's also do a FM from B here. And put a little LFO on that. Not as much though. Okay, so you hear the movement happening. Let's get like that. Cool, that sounds good. Let's get some unison. And see the texture the FM from B is creating? Like if we turn that off. That's how you can really get those like creative lead textures. And we also, let's bring in a little saw wave in the sub. Kind of setting the volume envelope a little bit there as well. And then we're going to go on to the filter here. I'm going to do like this fast envelope on the filter, right? So this is another way to get more interesting patches, is just have different envelopes modulating different things differently. Another thing with Serum is you can use the phaser if you turn the rate all the way off and the phase. It can be like this cool filter. So let's do that. A little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb. Cut out some bass with the EQ. And there you go. So that's how you use Serum to make the best techno synths. Like I said, it's really great for techno, for all these little things that you can do when you're trying to make a patch like this. And I really think that if you get into Serum and start playing around, even with the default wavetables, you can create some of the best synths for techno. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get my definitive techno Serum presets right at the top of the description on my website. It's a huge pack with a ton of Serum presets, a ton of basses, leads, pads, and plucks. Plus 2 demo tracks that you can work with as well. Full arranged project files for tracks. Links right at the top of the description. It's a really great resource. Take your tracks to the next level. I promise this is really going to help you get where you've been trying to get and make those tracks and get on the labels you're trying to get on. Thank you so much for the support, guys. But it's about supporting the community, creating these awesome resources that we can all benefit from, and we can all make the best music of our lives. Thanks for the support, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.